What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is a good day and I'm on a freaking streak like no other of buying units. I just purchased a vehicle out of state that is getting picked up basically as we speak and getting shipped here from Oklahoma, which I'm pretty excited about because it's very similar to something that I have and I've always wanted it and I've always avoided it, and it's a direct competitor to one of the biggest projects that we've ever done. Now it's on its way, but we are on our way to go get another unit, which is just a literally Craigslist. I opened up my app or on my computer this morning, gave it a quick scroll, seen this bright red truck, and I said, buddy, we need that. So obviously it seems like you guys kind of like the flipping series. We like the flipping series because we make a little bit of coin, and we're gonna bring you guys along with us. But this is a 2006 Toyota Tacoma double cab, 4-wheel drive, and has 230,000 miles on it, and they are asking $5,000. Every one of these trucks that I've seen them over the course of the last month for I've seen a couple pop up for 10 grand, and I'm like, that's a deal. Like I could probably make a couple grand on that. Now this one's for 5, needs a little bit of work, a little bit of suspension stuff, but that's why we have Eric. I think that this one could possibly bring, look at that unit.
That's a prison bus.
That's not a party bus, that's prison bus right there. I think this one could possibly bring like 13 grand. So potentially an over $5,000 profit range, which is realistically what I like to do. Bigger cars, bigger money, whatever. We're just on our way. We're gonna go up there and look at it. Got him on the phone this morning. That was a big deal. He had somebody that wanted to come down from Denver to look at it, and that guy like already lowballed him. So I got on the phone with him and I was like, hey, I want to come look. I know you're asking 5,000, you know, like let me come look at it. I would be willing to offer you more than what he offered, because he offered him 4 grand and he was gonna take it. He's like, oh yeah, you could come on down and look at it, whatever. But then I guess he told him that if somebody else offered more, then he was gonna sell it for more, which obviously I'm okay with paying more if I could get it for 4 grand. How you doing? But wish us luck. We're gonna go take a look at this thing and see how she is.
What are they doing?
Oh my goodness.
Look at all of them.
About it. Body, this was my truck for a few years when we first bought it.
Yeah.
And then I used it as a work truck. I was doing landscaping construction. I had the frame, lower control arms, and leaf springs replaced under the factory warranty. But yeah, front suspension needs a lot of work. Tires need to be replaced. Ball joints, I was told, were bad. Boots are torn. UV joints, CV joints. Power steering's pretty shot. Yeah. So.
Brakes feel a little. Yeah, I mean, just Tacomas, like people just love them. You know, they're good trucks, and even if they have high miles, people are like, well, they just want something to drive around and use as a work truck, a beater truck, whatever, to go up in the.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a work truck, beater truck, or try to turn it into a wheeler or something. I have no idea, but it is the sport. I don't know.
All right, so we did the deal. This is actually his other little daily driver. This thing is super freaking sick. But truck needs a little bit more work than I guess initially anticipated. You know, damage here, damage there. We have a weird issue with the front. Tailgate has some issues with it. Little dent, another little dent, another little dent. Moving around to the front, tires are a little bit worn. Headlights are faded, and this one has a decent crack, but no hail damage. Roof is pretty faded, and the major issue that I see so far is this tire is actually kind of rubbing up there on that control arm, and inner CV boots are pretty messed up. So rear axle leaks a little bit, and so I think this tire is actually a little bit low. So I'm gonna air it up. I think that'll give it a little bit more stiffness to where it doesn't roll over and touch that control arm, because we are driving this thing. We're driving her home. So that's the goal. So we're gonna fire this thing up and go get some fuel in it because it's empty, and then we're gonna get some food, and then we're gonna rip.
Yeah, definitely, buddy.
Decent unit though. Decent unit.
You driving this all the way?
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll get her done. Wash the windows, Got some fuel, because this thing was on freaking E. So, and the price on this thing was fairly good. He's asking 5,000. We ended up getting it for 4,000. Literally the whole time we were sitting there with him, he had like 20 people just calling him, texting him, you know, offering more money. One guy offered 55. And I even told him, I was like, honestly, like I was in the same boat. Like I would have probably offered 55 if that's what it would have taken to keep it. But like probably once I got up there and then realized like how rough it was, I would have probably offered, I probably would have passed. I'd have been like, you know what, we'll do something else. So got some free air here. So we'll see if this thing has enough sack to give us some air and go from there. Driving this thing, we got about 35 miles on it so far. And the biggest thing that I've noticed is the front wheel bearings. So as you're driving in a straight line, I don't know if you guys will be able to hear this, but there's a hump, you know, it's like, and then what happens is, you know, if you turn left, it gets a little bit worse because it's kind of like pressurizing that bearing. But as soon as you go on like a, you know, you turn right, so then it kind of puts more pressure on that side of the wheel and it kind of like stands up in the bearing, if you know what I'm saying. Like it goes to the other side of the bearing. Watch, listen to this. I don't know if you can hear that. But as soon as you turn to the right, it loads the bearing differently and it gets a lot quieter. So that means wheel bearing, at least this front left one, and probably some ball joints and probably the upper control arm and a couple little things like that. So it does look like it has like a leveling kit or like a little lift kit on the front, probably like a 2.5. Tires are a little bit worn, you know, it's just gonna need a lot of stuff. I already called on a windshield. So front windshield's like $340 or something like that. Biggest thing with this is obviously we got a good deal on it, and we're gonna have to really be careful with how we spend money on it. And I've been watching some house flipping shows recently, and that's why I think I'm like a little bit more into the whole flipping and also kind of justifying, you know, Eric when we're not working on mid builds for the channel and stuff. It's like he could just be working on this stuff in the background as, you know, content. It helps, you know, helps generate some revenue and it works out. So, and I like doing it. I like buying cars and experiencing the stuff. But, you know, obviously the best way to make money flipping cars is to get a good deal, you know. Obviously, first thing that I did, I've kind of known, you know, like I said at the beginning of this video, I've seen them for 10 grand and I'm like, that's a deal, because I seen it for 10 grand. I'm like, oh, is that a good deal? And then you look and then you see them listed for 12, 13, 16, whatever. So I was like, okay, 10 is a good deal. But then this one was listed for 5. We ended up getting it for 4,000. Make it look somewhat presentable with as little bit of time and materials and whatever necessary. And I think this will be a solid like $10,000 truck. I don't know if we could get 12. 12 would be sweet because that's basically, you know, 3 times the money. So I would really like 12. It'd be sick if we could get like 16, but this thing would have to be like dialed in for that. And I just think the truck's too far away to be doing that much work on it. There's a point in time where it, you know, it's just not worth your time to just continue. It's better to just, you know, take whatever money you make on it and put it into something else, put it into another deal. And that's pretty much exactly what we did with the money from the Subaru. You know, we flipped the Subaru, sold it for 4,800, then we bought this thing for 4 grand. Now let's call it, okay, we have 800 bucks to play with, you know, as far as this little flip money. Now we could essentially turn that 4,800 into, let's call it 10 grand, turn that 10 grand into something similar to like the 6-liter that I bought or another diesel truck, turn that maybe into 14, 15, you know, and you get it out, you get it, you know, you throw it out, it comes back bigger, you throw it out, it comes back bigger with the proper amount of effort. So we'll get her figured out. That's sorry for the little bit of a rant, but you know, I think the vlog is where I could talk about this stuff, and I know a lot of you guys might appreciate, you know, just a little bit more of the theory that goes into it. Yeah, I mean, I would love it if you guys shot me a message or whatever and like, look at this car I got, whatever, I bought it for this, I sold it for this. Like, that's sick. Yeah, I love it, you know. I mean, just if we could all make some extra money together, like, that's freaking cool. air intake on it, and I ripped it getting on the highway, and it started barking at me. One thing that is terrible about this thing is the freaking brakes. Like, you hit it and then it's just squishy and then it stops. So like you have a whole like weird half the pedal travel full of like squish, and then it gets hard at the bottom. So the brakes on the old 4Runner kind of similar, and we just kind of dealt with it, but they weren't this bad. So what?
Collecting Tacomas now?
Yeah. What do you think?
I like this one. Is it supercharged or is that a phony hood?
Oh, it's just it's a phony hood.
Phony hood.
What do you think though? I'm a just big freaking crew cab Tacoma guy.
That's what I would buy it by.
Hey, I'll say. I know, guy. It's 06. 06 for 230. Hey, it's had the frame replaced. Oh, why did you make that face?
Why did I make that face?
You of all people know.
I know this is a 400,000 mile truck, but
You made a face.
I know I did.
But frame was replaced in 2018 under
Recall.
warranty. Timing belt 2018. So it's a spring chicken. It's ready to go.
Oh.
Golly, you just keep finding more stuff. Like every time you look at it, you're like, oh, geez, oh, I didn't know about that. Definitely wheel bearing, I think, on this side will fix that, or a wheel spacer, or whatever. Hey, for 200 bucks, you can't complain.
200 bucks.
200 bucks.
Yeah, right. You got it for 200 bucks. I'll double your money if you got it for 200 bucks.
Nick will buy it right now.
Oh, the diff is real hot.
That would make sense. Do you think it would cook? You think we'd cook an egg? He did say it was leaking. Oh, you did it. You killed it. Eric. He was gonna move the S14 and I asked him how many times he's gonna kill it. He moved it from there to there without killing it. Wow. It sounds good though. This thing's literally been sitting in this same spot 3 months, which is crazy because normally we take stuff in and out of here to go to the paint booth, but we haven't painted anything, so it's just been kind of sitting here. Is that all you got?
Oh my god. That thing's scary.
Do you feel like you was gonna run into anything?
Yeah.
That's good. Everything that I drive, like the Civic is like this thing is like this, my Supra is like this, the Mustang was like this. It's just, I'm just used to driving these screwed up clutches, but yeah, just turn off that red power switch and it's good. You could kill it a couple more times, it's all right. Charles went out and he drove the Tacoma. I think he's out driving it right now. And then he's gonna take some pictures of it. There he is. Charles, how is it?
Sketchy.
Pretty sketchy, right?
It's pretty sketchy. The rear diff is what bugs me out the most. Like
Yeah.
you can hear it.
Yeah.
It's almost as if like it's empty, you know?
Well, it was leaking a little bit, but yeah, Charles getting some intake pictures for the process. Eric is inside, gonna try not to kill the S14 again, and then I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just freaking wandering aimlessly around. We'll probably end up washing the Tacoma. That way we can look at it, you know, really see how big of a situation I got myself into. So Eric's been wandering around looking at it. He's been missing us today. He didn't know what to do. So what were you doing? You cleaning up the stuff in the shipping container, getting some more of the eBay parts kind of listed.
Kind of checking this whole area, maybe kind of reorganizing and seeing what we could do.
Yeah, because there's so many things and stuff, and obviously we kind of have this area over here. We got the trailer, which we could move this thing. We have the S13. I kind of thought about parting this one out on eBay. I think there's just tons of parts there, you know, to list. We have the 2G Eclipse. So this has an Evo 6 or 7 engine, but as you can tell, you know, it has like the fresh air, you know, system or whatever on it. It has a 5-speed tranny out of an Evo 4, I believe, because it has the right transfer case position to go to the back. Obviously, it's a front-wheel drive, but I have a rear subframe over there to convert it to all-wheel drive, and then we need the all-wheel drive fuel tank and stuff. But this is a baby Evo. Well, a heavy Evo, but the biggest problem is whoever made the engine mounts, there's another guy, his name is Miguel DSM on YouTube, and he made a video talking about how to do this, and that was probably after this guy had already done this to this. So anyhow, you can see they literally got some 1/4-inch plate and just welded it in here And it's just not that nice. I'm sure, you know, we could probably go in and box it in and grind it and make it better. But it would be cool. I've always loved 2G Eclipses, and the bad thing is they're kind of a pain. Maybe could you grab some tape and we'll just tape up the inlets on it?
There was some stuff.
Yeah, we'll have to get this thing cleaned up. But yeah, we could put like an RTEC on there. We could do some other stuff. Also, what else should we do? This thing may be part out on eBay. I don't know, because it smells terrible, but there's a lot of good parts on it. But it's a slick top S13 shell. Like, that's freaking pretty decently clean. Or I don't even want to open it. It's terrible in there. Frame swap C10. We just the Mercedes wagon.
What was it?
OM 606. We got the Civic. There's too many projects and there's not enough time, and you know, trying to do things, because like every one of these projects are big and I want to do them, but then they're like, well, do they make money? Do we get 1 million views on YouTube? I don't know. This new project sounds more exciting, so maybe we'll do that. This is a project that turbo built engine, so it's a D16, and it's a Z6 block VTEC head, pistons, rods, valve springs, retainers, aftermarket cam, injectors, E85, Honda, weird eBay turbo kit or whatever on it with some good parts. So it has like a tile blow-off valve, and you know, it's like a turbo XS blow-off valve. But like, you know, this car runs and drives technically. We stole some parts off it for a Rudnick CRV, but you know, the question is, what do we do with it? You know, because it's like, it's a slippery slope, because then you start looking at it, you're like, well, I kind of want to paint it because we got a paint booth. Then it's the middle of winter, so maybe we don't do that. But then, you know, you just get excited about something like that. But then you have the Evo wagon sitting here that just needs a couple simple things to be like a, you know, 600 and some horsepower ripper. So I have project car paralysis because I have too many things. But anyhow, the white 6-liter, we were going to paint it today, but it freaking started getting cold again. We have some Harley parts that actually came in the Evo, so we could list these things on eBay. There's just so many things. Like, I think we need like 2 more people. What do you think?
I was thinking that.
To just handle all of the stuff, or at least different departments.
For you, where stuff that keeps you busy,
Mhm.
where you can be more motivated, like just doing stuff that like the S550 and mainly the projects where you don't have to worry about the.
You know what I want is a business manager. Like, I want somebody to come in here and tell me what to do, because I feel like I'm not a great boss as far as like being like super directional and other things. Like, I like working on the cars just as, you know, much as anything else. And then I feel like that's the thing that I do the least of, is that. But 6 liters outside. This thing's pretty much ready to spray, but it just got too cold now by the time we got here today. So like I said, probably shouldn't have bought the Tacoma, but we should have bought the Tacoma because it makes sense flipping financially wise. But, you know, then little things like this kind of put us back because we didn't paint that today. But Eric has been working on the eBay stuff, and Mick, our landlord, has some pallet racking out in the field over there that actually used to be in this section. So I think I'm going to talk him into letting us either borrow or buy some of that stuff to put in the shipping container. So we'll probably mess with that stuff tomorrow, and then just so we could, you know, we could get this stuff out of the way, get it organized, get it out of the way. And that way the eBay thing can actually live.
Sell some things.
So we can actually sell some things. And also Eric's been taking more pictures and listing some stuff, basically listing everything as a draft. And then I'm going to go through and approve things. And eventually he's just going to be the eBay guy. I won't even have to do nothing. I'll be like, hey, Eric, how many things did you list on eBay today? And he'll say a couple hundred. And I'll say, all right, cool. Ready to go. It'll be good. But man, so many things going on. It's almost overwhelming, like the amount of stuff. Eric just washed this. Man, that thing looks like $1 zillion. That thing looks brand new. Well, when it's wet. We just need to pull out the polisher, you know, get them $65 headlights off of eBay, and a $100 wheel bearing. This thing's ready to rip.
It's like it's already got a little.
Yeah, it has a little lift. I think that's like an inch and a half or something like that. Yeah, you could really see how like bald that tire looks now that it's like wet. Yeah, this thing has a frame replaced in 19 under warranty, because I guess these frames like rust and do a bunch of crazy stuff, so they freaking replace them. I wonder if this would come off, like, because that feels like that's paint. Bedline it. I think it, like, if we bedlined it, it like to a certain degree devalues it, but also it's pretty rough. So if we painted over it, there's just lots of dings and dents and stuff that you'll see. Or if we just we don't do anything, maybe we just list it. That's probably gonna be it. I don't know what else we're gonna do other than we could pull it in and put it on the lift, but we got a freaking dirty old Torty in there right now. Maybe we could move the Evo and then we could pull it in and jack up the rear and then see about like putting some fluid in the diff. Yeah. See how much fluid's in there.
I can move these out too.
Also, the BMW has been for sale for a little while. So a little turbo diesel thing. This thing is freaking the best daily. I'm just kind of bored of it.
I'm not.
Well, Charles's Cobalt has been at the dealer for a fuel system leak.
I hate dealers,
so,
by the way. Can we just...
He's been driving this thing, and then today, check engine light came on.
I don't know why.
Oh, we need
I was right behind, or I was right in front of you.
Let's check it before we leave.
Yeah.
So Charles gave me a ride back home because he picked me up this morning. Tacoma is obviously going to stay here. We're going to get her fixed. Evo's leaving eventually, and we got 3,000 things going on. But I appreciate you guys watching this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about me having 3,000 freaking projects. I don't even know what to think about it anymore. See you guys later.